All right, good morning. Welcome back. Happy FOMC day. Happy Wednesday. Margin, Nomit, Sal's, Aiden, Closer, Chef. How you doing, Chef? Bob, Mellon, Paul, Scouting, Pat, Trader Kane. Oh, there he is. What's up, man? How are you? NVIDIA. I love that name. NVIDIA. NVDA. Closer, golf lessons. I need some golf lessons, Closer. I do. Today's a great day to go golfing, huh? FOMC, just nothing. Tomorrow's the day. Market closed tomorrow. Definitely going to try to get out there tomorrow. That's for sure. This is, this is Lululemon. This is probably my favorite hoodie, for sure. Love this thing. Except, I don't know. I don't love Lulu as much as I once did, man. As a stock, I don't really like it. I think we were right, too, not to buy that dip. The dip is dipping. The dip is not coming back right now. So I think we were right about being easy on the dip buy there. Not a great idea, it seems. Welcome back, everyone. How we doing? Botfather, Jorge, Steezy, Options Degen. Love it. Love it. You like that quote? In trading, everything works sometimes and nothing works always. We'll get into that. We'll get into that quote and what it means. Morning, everyone. Pura Vida. That's right. How we doing? All right. So, FOMC, unemployment claims. That is today. I would take it a little bit east. Take it east. You know what we say? I would say that is today. You are channel bound on the markets. You have not changed that. You have been sideways since the start of this week. There's been some nice opportunities on some individual equities. Really, this week has shown me why I believe it is still advantageous to trade individual equities. It really has. This week has reminded me why I trade individual equities, because there's absolutely discrepancies and absolutely some arbitrage opportunities outside of what the overall market is doing. That's just simply the truth this week. The market has done pretty much nothing, and there has been some major moves on some semiconductor stocks. There's been some nice downside on Tesla yesterday, under 324. The market's moved. There's been some good opportunities for that very precise trade on the ES&Q for maybe some futures traders, or some, yesterday a break and retest to the downside on the SPY, which was fantastic. So there is some moves. Right? I don't want to say that there's nothing, but there has been outliers on individual equities, and this has been a week that reminded me why I still watch those. And I'm not going to discourage anyone out there that only trades the SPY or Qs. But I would highly recommend you look outside of that, because there's definitely clean opportunities outside of that market right now. No doubt. So just something to think about. Yesterday was fantastic on ARM. It was straight from the live stream. Literally everything we talked about on the live stream yesterday was the exact idea that made 100% on ARM. So if you woke up and you came to this live stream and you paid attention to our ARM idea, that is a 100% trade, because you woke up and came to a free morning live stream, which is, in my mind, like I'm giving away too much. It's starting to feel that way, not going to lie. Anyways, let's talk about the quote behind me. In trading, everything works sometimes and nothing works always. So what does this mean? To me, this means you have to continue. In my mind, this means you have to take your shots, right? You just have to take your shots. You have to take the position. You have to take the trade when your strategy shows. And you can't be worried about it having to work, right? If you have that fear of the uncertainty, right? We read this in Trading in the Zone by Mark Douglas. You can't have the fear of uncertainty. Nothing is going to work every single time. It's just not possible. Every time you take a trade, it could look fantastic. It could look just like it looked the prior day. You could have the same trade set up yesterday and today, and it doesn't have to work the same. It's just simply how the market works. So that, to me, shows you that you have to filter out that uncertainty to be successful. You have to accept that it's not always going to work that way. You can know how to manage your risk. You can know how to find your entry. You can know how to chart your levels, know how to put yourself in an advantageous position, but that does not always mean it is going to work as you expect. In trading, I need to remember this quote. In trading, everything works sometimes and nothing works always. I think that's pretty good. Powerful, and something to take away for the stream today. How do we like that? Jesus, appreciate that, Jesus. What color do we want today? Green? What color do we like here? Red? White, maybe? Nah, that's a little bright. Can we lower the brightness? Blue? I think blue's the best. A nice dark blue. Yellow? Yellow's not bad. Purple? Should we strobe it? What is this? All right, let's stop fucking around. Sorry for cursing. Let's continue. Here we go. Press that like button. Subscribe to the channel. And green. All right, green it is. Wrong one. Wrong button. Sorry about that. All right, let's slide on over. Let's slide it on over. I need to figure out a way to transition that without switching everything over. I got to think about a professional transition there. Okay, here we go. Press that like button. Subscribe to the channel. And let's jump in. So we're back on the Nasdaq futures /NQ continuous. TOS has flipped it over to the September, so that's good. We don't have to type in U25 anymore. So we are now on our NQ, and we can see that we have gone nowhere the entire week. Something to note that I sort of realized yesterday, the move on Monday was with unbelievably low volume. If you look down on the bottom of the screen, just ridiculously low volume on Monday, pushing to the upside. So that is something to, that's just sort of a BS move there on Monday into that same supply high, very clear, rejections, no surprises there. Moves lower, have started to see some holds inside of our 21,840, 21,700 area, right? That are channel low demand. And that's it, guys. I mean, to be quite honest, I really don't have much for you here, my friends. There really isn't much to share with you. What I could say here, I could have came to this live stream for the last week and a half and said the same exact levels and said don't trade within it. And, there's been opportunities if you know what you're looking at, right? When I say don't trade within it, guys, I want you to understand, I talk to the new trader here, right? I'm talking to the new trader. I'm not talking to you guys that are experienced, that you know what you're doing, right? That you know what levels to play off of and how to find your entries and how to manage your risk. I'm talking to the new traders that are, trading in here, looking for a continuation, don't know when to exit, and then just get sort of slammed on a reversal because they have no really idea what's going on here. This is just total, and not only that, I'm talking to the traders that if something doesn't work the first time, they just keep trying it over and over again throughout the day. And eventually it just leads to you trying something 10,000 times, and it just leads to you blowing up your account, right? So, you know, if you just kept trying to short the Nasdaq yesterday or on Monday, let's say, or even yesterday, right? Let's say, you know, by 12:35, you just kept trying to short, and you just kept taking losses. And by the time it hit 12:35, you were just sort of out of money, and then you missed that, right? This requires patience, guys. This was actually a fantastic short yesterday, by the way. But even on Monday, right? Look at Monday. You would have had to hold. I mean, it didn't happen in the intraday. It actually happened in the after hours, right? So if you kept trying to short on Monday and it just kept bouncing off this low, and you just kept getting frustrated and you blew up your account in this, that's what this is, right? That's what this type of trading is. It's look, I mean, look at this day. The entire day is sideways. That's all sideways. All sideways. Pretty much all sideways. Yesterday, you got blessed end of day, which was actually a fantastic looking trade, and we'll talk about that in a second. But look at where you are, right? Look at where you are. You are below the highs, above the lows. You are dead smack in the 50% retracement of this channel. You are literally sitting at the 50%. So there's no edge here. There is no edge here. And you need to figure out how to control yourself in these environments, guys. I have absolutely, and I'll just be fully transparent with you, I have absolutely seen a drop-off in retail traders. No doubt about it, 100%. People are not enjoying this. They are blowing up their accounts. They are not living to see another day. They are not realizing that you just need to coast through this time period. You can try your trades, you can keep risk tight, but it is the absolute worst time to trade continuation. And if you continue to step into every day and have, like, you know, a Men in Black mind blink, where like they blink your mind and it's like a new day that you don't remember anything. If you continue to step into the trading day like that, you're going to continue to make these stupid mistakes, right? And you're going to continue to get messed up in this channel. If you're having trouble right now, I highly advise you to simply wait for us to break this channel. Highly, right? Just this, guys, this isn't normal, right? This is not what we typically see in the market. Going sideways for almost 2 weeks now. I mean, literally, sideways for almost 2 weeks. It's not exaggeration. It's actually happening. So, you know, think about that. You know, really think about that and understand it, okay? And seriously. And what is we say this all the time, what is the definition of insanity? The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. If you continue to do the same thing over and over again and just hope that one day it's going to turn into a green, profitable month, it's not going to happen, right? That's insane. So today, if you want to say, hey, I'm done being an idiot, right? And I'm done losing my money, and I'm done, you know, getting stuck in trading in this channel. Don't trade inside of this channel. Very simple. Don't trade above the daily 20. Don't trade below these highs. And just say, hey, I'm going to wait for FOMC to come out. There is I would say, I don't want to put it too high, but I'm going to put it pretty high. I'm going to say there's a 91.725% chance that you stick inside this channel before 2 o'clock today. I would even push that up to like 99%. Why not? Just leave 1% that it gets outside of it, which is probably not going to happen. I would say there is a 99% chance that you stay within this channel today, prior to 2 o'clock. If you can get this outside of 2 o'clock, you know, outside of the channel after 2 o'clock, that is fantastic. That is what we want, and that will set up a beautiful trading day tomorrow. But we need to see it happen. We need to see it happen. Okay? Do you expect to see more consolidation in the market today? Are you expecting clear? I mean, after 2 o'clock, T-Man, I hope to see something, man. If we're inside this channel after 2 o'clock, and tomorrow market's closed, I forgot about that. I mean, you're probably cooked for the rest of the week, right? If you're in here by, you know, 2 o'clock today and you close within here, you have the market closed tomorrow. So this is closed. And then you have Friday, which, I mean, maybe you can see something on Friday. Yeah, I just, you know, just understand it. That's it. That's it. Why 2 o'clock? We have FOMC today, Jorge. Come on. Wake up, Jorge. 22 130, 22 230 zone, definitely supply. Downside demand comes in around 21 840 down to the daily 20 of 21 720. This is definitely some bounce risk here, right? Definitely some bounce risk here. And definitely some rejection risk here, right? So that's pretty damn clear. I would say the only excitement I would have today is if you can break below the daily 20. If you could see something breaking under this low here from Friday of last week, breaking under that daily 20, I think you can get a nice short down into like this 600 area. That could be a nice short right here, under the daily 20 into the 600. I like that. That's something I would watch personally. Underneath that, you have to be careful of the 600 bounce risk though, right? So it's not a long-term trade. It's just a scalp underneath. Underneath 21.6, then I think it gets more interesting. It's really underneath 21.530, to be honest. It's right here. So you see this right here, highs, lows, 21.530. Under that, I think you get definitely some much more intriguing action, right? Why do I say that? Because of this. See this right here? See this shelf? There's a shelf right here. Where is my line? There it is. See that? Underneath that, you should go pretty vertically lower to here. So I like this area here. I like this pocket of low volume. That's somewhere I would definitely look to get aggressive. There is absolutely bounce risk in here, and there's absolutely bounce risk all in here. You have two pockets here. You have this pocket here, and you have this pocket here. Okay, those would be two pockets of low volume I'd look for. Besides that, you're going to have a lot of bounce risk if you try to short towards the daily 20 today. I would not advise that, especially thinking that you're going to break down the daily 20 prior to 2 o'clock. Guys, something else to remember about these days, nothing is meaningful prior to 2 o'clock, 2:30. Any move you get that's extended will most likely, this is our quote, everything in trading works sometimes, nothing works always, right? This is the same thing as our quote. But you would expect, I'd say a 90% or very high percentage chance that any expansion move today reverts to the mean before 2 o'clock, all right? So if you get a pop, I would expect that to revert to the center of the channel before 2 o'clock. If you get a drop, I expect that to bounce into the center before 2 o'clock, all right? That is something you need to remember. If you are short before 2 o'clock and you think that just because it's down in the intraday means it's going to continue to go down on FOMC, you are very mistaken. Very, very mistaken. And if you end up being right, that was a guess. That's the difference. If you short and you say, I'm staying short through 2 o'clock, and then it continues, congratulations, you just guessed properly. Well, that's not going to take you very far, my friend. So approach this day correctly. Approach this day mechanical. Approach this day with discipline. Nothing is important before 2 o'clock. Anything you see here before 2 o'clock is a meaningless move. It is all dependent on what happens at 2 o'clock, 2:30 to really decide what your next move on the market is. Okay? So everything reverts to the mean, in my opinion. If you get expansions, I'd expect reversions to the mean. And that is probably where you're going to trade within until 2 o'clock, 2:30 today. Okay? That's my advice for you. S&P 500, same exact shit. Look, 59.90, 610, downside demand bounce risk. Daily 20 SMA, definitely important. ES, 60.63 to 68, 60.80, right here. Definitely some rejection risk. There is your channel that I most likely expect you to trade within. I would say, give or take, about a 60 to 70 point channel on the ES before 2 o'clock. Not bad, right? Definitely advantageous if you're going to short these highs. If you see a reason to short these highs into these lows, definitely a trade, right? I'm not saying, again, I am not saying there's not trades within here for someone that understands how they're approaching their markets, all right? Like someone that said, hey, I'm going to short a break underneath 60, 63 yesterday, absolutely crushed it. This was a trade we took, or not really took, but this was a trade I was yelling and screaming about in the Discord yesterday. If you guys remember that. I will show you, yeah, let's see. Well, I'll show you how pretty this looked. So a beautiful looking break and retest yesterday of the intraday lows, of the morning lows. I mean, it was just fantastic. And so there is, right, and this will show you, there is opportunities within the channel. There is. I'm not saying there's not. But if you take a look at this from yesterday, my friends, right here. Take a look at this right here, right? So yesterday, right, this is what you have right here. Check this chart out. Look at see that red line running across your screen? See that red line right there? Guess what that is? Guess what that is? Who knows what that is right there? That red line running across my screen right there. Who can guess? I'll give it a second. You should know if you pay attention to my charts, if you pay attention to what we do, that level should look very familiar. The way that line looks, I'll be able to tell who pays attention on these live streams. If you know exactly, what's that? You know, I've seen that red line on Desi's charts before. What is that? 60-80 was nice. I will wait. I will wait. Someone's got to say it. No one's got it right yet. Nope. Thank you. Options DGen. PDL. That is our previous day low script. Right? And if I go to this SPY and I put on my previous day low script right here. Unfortunately, it's not going to be on there for because it's okay. Unfortunate because it's the next day. But let me show you where that previous day low comes from. So the previous day low was on the intraday yesterday, right here. It was right here. Previous day low was the low of, it was really just the low of the session, which was, sorry, that's the 16th. Okay, yep, 16th, right here. So the low of this candle, 600.22, right there. That was your previous day low. Okay, take a look at this shit. Take a look at this shit right here and tell me this is not important to watch. Look at that. Look at that trade yesterday. Previous day lows. It does not have to be that difficult. And I actually have a video about this coming out tonight. Is it tonight? Yeah, I think it is. Today. Intraday. Look at this, guys. That is the exact previous day low. That is the exact spot. And that kind of stuff happens often, right? So look at this, right? Let's take a look at this. Let's go back here. What is that thing on the top? Oh, it's okay, there we go. Okay, right here, bam, very nice, bam, look at that. Unbelievable. Perfect. All right, see this? See this? Not hard. Just need to know what you're looking at. All right, that's really the important thing, is being prepared with the proper levels. Look at the reaction after you failed that yesterday, and look at the opportunity that that gave. So again, what does that show you? There is opportunity within the channel. There is. All right, but you have to know your spots. You have to come into the day knowing your spots. That is so, so important. Okay, so let's talk about the, did we talk about the ES yet? A little bit. So 60.80, 60.36, previous day lows, it was the exact same thing on the ES, right? If you look at this ES, the previous day low is right here, and that is exactly where the break and retest happened, around 60.65. It was perfect. So let's zoom out here. You can see right now, right? Very clear supply highs, very clear demand lows. Please be careful inside of it. You can look for those fades. You can look for those bounces. Over 80, I think you could get a little bit of excitement towards the 61.10. Under the daily 20 is where you get a very nice short, in my opinion. Underneath the daily 20, 59.90, I think you can get about a 50-point give or take short on the ES. That could be really nice. Okay. Let's go to the SPY. Pretty much the same concepts here. You guys can see 602, you can see the 600, and I'm going to keep that 600 on because that was where we rejected yesterday very nicely. The 600.22, which is the previous day lows. That is the Wednesday low. I'm sorry, the Monday low, my bad. So you have very clear supply up here, very clear, right? Smackdown, smackdown, and smackdown. You have smackdown, smackdown, 602, and you have smackdown now at 600. So you now are on a 3-day lower high streak. Really 2-day, sorry. Well, I guess you could say 3. 2-day, 3-day lower high streak here. But what's the problem? You are trading still into major bounce risk demand below. What does that mean? You're pinned. You are pinned. You are channel trading. So downside demand is definitely not something you can just say, oh, I'm just going to short these highs and it's going to break these lows. You can't do that. You can't do that. You have to stay precise. You can't just say, I'm going to short these highs and we have to pull back. The market's too frothy. We have to go lower. This is how you lose money, my friends. When you put those thoughts in your head. When you start putting those thoughts in your head, the market has to go lower. It's ridiculous. I can't believe it. The war, the missile strikes, it's ridiculous. How's the market still going up? I mean, it's just, guys, it's the same old thing every time that makes people lose money. You can't do it. Pay attention to the technical levels, what's on the chart, trade the chart, and stop worrying about what everything else is doing, everything else that's going on. You can clearly see, right, if there's ever an example, you can clearly see how disconnected the stock market is to geopolitical macroeconomic events. It's just, I mean, if this is not an example, I don't know what is. You have like pretty much a full-on war, not really, but you have shit going on over in Israel and Iran, and the market's like, I don't give a fuck, right? And you would expect it to be like, oh shit, right? But it's not. It's not. That's not how it is. So you have to approach the market based off the levels that are reacting historically. If you try to do anything else, you ultimately, in my opinion, will fail. So 595.50, 595.50, that is a major demand low. Below that, you have the daily 20, and right in that area, you have a bunch of bounce risk, anywhere from 593 to 595.50, in my opinion. These lows here at 593 and the daily 20 and 595. You have about 2 to 3 point channel of bounce risk here, in my opinion. And I would be very careful shorting into this. Okay? 600, 602, 603.50, 605 zone. I mean, look at this, right? Where do I think this can get exciting? I would say this can get exciting underneath 590. That would be my spot. 590, 591. If you can get under that, then I get more excited here, right? Right here. Right here. If you can break this low here, and this low here, and these previous highs, if you can break under this, then I think you have a nice pocket down to 584. That would be the trade I'd look for, right here. If you could get under 590, I think you can trade this short back towards 584 and maybe towards that 200, if we can get it. But we are not getting that as of now. So that is not something interesting yet. Qs, major supply highs, 533.50, 535, very clear. Right? Smackdown, 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 smackdown. We're not longing into that today. That's very clear. Got a little bit of a, middle of the channel level here at 528, 529. It's like 528.50 really. Excuse me. I might have been loud on the mic. Sorry about that. 528.50, 528.50, 528.50. Below that, daily 20, 525. If you break the daily 20 and you break the 525, then I think you might be able to get some juice to 522. Little bit of juice there to 522. Thank you, margin. Underneath 520 is where you get some more nice, some nice action. Underneath like this 522, 520 zone, you break this channel right here. And that could be where you start to flip, which could be very nice. So I would just make sure you're aware if we start getting close to this 522, 520 area. You break that, I don't even know if this will be a strong spot. Honestly, I think it would be pretty much vertically lower here. I think you would navigate pretty quickly through this area down to 512. But there is a little bit of something here at 517 that you probably should be aware of. So I'll keep it there. Okay. And the only way to look for upside, I would say, is if you need a very clear consolidation above this high, guys. You really do. You need a very clear consolidation above these highs. You need it. You can't be long into these rejection points. Look how nasty these have been. Jobless claims, 245 versus 246. Yeah, that's not going to do anything. All right, let's move on. Thanks, Hamish. All right, SMH still rock solid. SMH has been a monster lately. Fade, Alvin, thank you guys. Appreciate that. Alvin, I saw your trade yesterday on R, man. Congrats. Way to go, brother. 265, bam, 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 bam. SMH, 260 demand, very big. That's your channel, 260, 265. Yesterday we talked about the 260. It held. Let's keep watching this. IWM, is it under 210 still? 211, yes, still under. Dow Jones, still under 43K, yep. Okay. Tesla. JK, where's JK? How about this? I mean, unbelievable yesterday. 324 break and retest bear flag, unbelievable. Just a thing of beauty. Look at that thing. Look at that thing right there. That's a beauty. Break and retest bear flag of our exact level we had from the live stream, my friends, 324. If you took it, congratulations. That was straight from the live stream. You guys know we've been talking about 324 as our major level. You break underneath it and you reject it. That creates downside to 318. That was our, and that, if you guys remember our live stream yesterday, what did we say? We said there might be a reason that Tesla needs to do a little alfalfa move down into 318. Well, you got that move. You didn't quite get the alfalfa, but you got the move into 318, which was exactly what we sort of game planned for. You can see we're trying to hold up 318 now. How did this happen? Break and retest of the 324 level, right? Beautiful. Maybe even move that up a little bit to engulf today some of these wicks. It was really like the previous day. It was this low right here. Is the overnight low. Look at that. 324.50. Oh boy, is that clean. Look at this. Lows, highs, break, retest, bam. I think that was like 100% trade on Tesla yesterday. Simple. Simple trade. Very simple. Just had to trust it. That's just a matter of trusting your setup. That's all that is. That is all this is right here. This right here, my friends, is called trusting your trading strategy, because that is exactly what we look for, and you guys know that. There is nothing different than this, than what we look for every day. It's exactly it. Break and retest bear flag. Perfect. All you had to do was trust it. If you trusted it, you got paid. If you accepted the uncertainty, if you knew what you were going to stop out at, if you accepted the potential loss, and you just stayed confident, you got paid. That is called, that is, right, this is partially looking and knowing how to find a technical strategy, but also it's all mindset. It's all mindset. It's all mental control. It's all understanding of what's happening. What else did that yesterday? Who remembers us talking about Palantir to 140? Anyone remember that? Look at this. Look at Palantir 140. Break, retest, fail, under 140. Look at this. What else happened? Who remembers AMD? You guys remember AMD 128? It's a little bit sloppy on the AMD one, but it did work. I think it was, yeah, it was like right in this general area. It was a little bit sloppier. This one wasn't as clean. Wasn't as clean. Right here. Not bad. A little bit sloppy, though. A little bit sloppy. But I digress. Let's continue. So that's Tesla. Today, I would not short into these lows at 312. I would not short into these lows at 312. I would actually look to see if you can get a little, I would look for a pop and fade here, personally. I would look for a clear lower high to get built at 324, 324.50. If you could create a lower high here and start to reject in this area again, I would look for that trade. I like to look at that. You could look for a little reclaim rip off 318, right? If you want to look to long 318 into 324, it's possible. Don't love it. I would look for a long on a reclaim of 324 as well. That could be very nice. 312, 200 SMA, 305. Under 305, my friends, you want to get aggressive, by the way. Right here. Under 305, I think you get aggressive on the downside. So I would put an alert under 305. I would watch that. Okay. NVIDIA, same channel. It's been in all day yesterday. It's actually a very bullish hold still, in my opinion. NVIDIA is holding over Friday's highs. Holding. It's very bullish still. You really just need a catalyst on the market to get this thing to move. But we shall see. It needs to get over 145.50 or it needs to get under 143.50. Under 143.50, I would say equally as bearish, by the way. If you get under this previous high and these lows, I think you can target these lows here. So equally as bearish, something I would watch. AMD. AMD, a little bit messy after the move yesterday. I would say keep a look on the 128 spot today. Right here is these previous highs, 128. I would see if that holds. If you can hold that 128 again, maybe you can get another pop to the 130s, ultimately the 132s. If you fail 128, I think you're going back to 126. And I would say the best long continues to be the 124 and 200 SMA right here. This is the 200 SMA down here at around 124. If you get a break under that, it gets cooked. Cooked. Right? Straight down into 119.50. Look at this. Absolutely something you should be paying attention to. Absolutely an opportunity. If the market gets weak, that's a huge opportunity. If the market gets weak, that's an if. TSM, someone's going to comment on the live stream later. Fucking Desi, man, what an idiot. He said that AMD is going to go down today. Can't wait for it. I guarantee it. We'll talk about it on Friday when that comment comes in. 216, 217, watch out for that. Watch, that's the supply high. TSM 213 demand low. ARM, totally just sexual yesterday. ARM day, we had that high at the 140, 141. I think it was the 140. What did we trade off yesterday? Was it the Monday high or the? Yes, it was the. Oh no, it was the Monday high. Yep. Monday high, 143.50, right here. If you guys remember, we had this Monday high, 143.58. That was sort of the spot we were looking for, a little break and retest long. And man, oh man, was that a thing of beauty yesterday. You guys can watch that on my Instagram, on my Twitter. I posted the live trade. You can see it right here. Perfect. And I mean perfect. This was perfect. So let's take a look at something real quick together. I want to do something real quick here. Not to toot my own horn, but I want you to pay attention how this is possible. I do. Because I think a lot of people still doubt it. Here's our live stream yesterday. Here's your lows. Look at ARM starting to squeeze. Over this 144, you're getting the next leg. So I would absolutely have an alert over 144 on ARM. This looks incredible. As long as you're over 138, 139 area, this looks great. Next move, really, for ARM, in my opinion, is... And we had the low volume. Look at this, guys. Look at this low volume area, right? Yep. Then, today, 144, 143.50 really was the Monday high. You can look right here. There it is. You break above it, you hold above it. 144, 143.50. Done. Trade. 100% trade right there. That's it. Just had to trust it, right? Over this high, hold above it, look for the break and retest, gone. Doesn't always work that way, but when it does, this offsets 10 losses, maybe 5 losses, if you stop out, right? If we would have taken that trade and it failed, guess what? The next time it works, you're gonna offset multiple losses. Okay, so today, you're looking for the same, look at today. It's the same level. 143.50, 144, Monday's highs. It held here. It's got to continue to hold. If it fails, you're going lower. 141.50 back to 138. You need to hold above these Monday highs. MU. I would be getting a little bit cautious on MU, guys. It's getting a little bit frothy to me. I would say 117. I would have an alert at 117. I wouldn't touch it until it hits that. Meta. Put the channel markers on, 705, 694. Get the channel ready if it breaks. Google, same thing, 179, 175. Have the alerts ready if it breaks. Amazon, same thing, 213.50, 217.50. Exact same thing, right? Look at this, everything, just channeling. Palantir, I would watch the 140 today. 140, 140. It could be a lower high failure here. Look. It could be a lower high failure. And I know that's going to piss off some people, but it's very possible. Look, here's your head, left shoulder. If you get a left or right shoulder lower high failure here, there could definitely be some nice shortage towards 136. I would watch that. I would watch this today. If you get back over 140, then this thing's just a brute. You're going higher again. 143, 145. So I would absolutely watch 140. I think this could be probably one of the better inflection points to watch on any stock today is 140 on Palantir. APP, one of my top short watches today. APP, I think, is creating a really clean head and shoulder on the daily chart. You can see right here. Check out this daily chart. You got a very clear left shoulder. You got a very clear trap buying head here. Here's your right shoulder underneath the daily 20. I think you should trade down to here at 328 and possibly even this gap fill area is where I think this should go. You got to stay under 380. If you stay under 380, I think this continues lower. Under 380, I think there's weakness to around this daily 100, daily 50 SMA. That would be my target at 328, 330. So this is a big watch of mine today if we can get a clean fail under 360. Another reason I'm so interested is look at this relative underperformance. It's just sitting. It just seems to be getting sort of the soul sucked out of it. So I would look under 360 today. That's a big watch for me. Hood, watch 75.50, watch 73. Uber's not done anything. Apple looks like shit. I have not even cared to look at it this week. It looks terrible. I mean, the stock just doesn't move. I don't know why anyone would want to trade this. Microsoft's the same thing. This is just a terrible trading stock. MSTR sideways. Coinbase sideways. 265. I think Palantir's a nice watch. 140. I think Tesla's going to be a nice watch, of course. 318s, 324s. That APP is going to be on watch. 360. I think we watch the semis again. NVIDIA, of course, 143.50, 145. The AMD, of course, 130, 128. That's really it for me, man. 2,600 people here, 1,000 likes. Can't even get, oh, it's a little bit more than half. All right, we got a little bit more than half today. If you guys could, please press that like button. Green. Hope it's a green day for everyone. Hope you guys enjoyed the live stream. If you guys would like to get my free morning watch list every day, that is down below. It says free morning watch list. And going to continue to add, some value there for you guys that are in that. So make sure to check that out. If you want to trade live with me every day, that is down below as well. Check it out. We trade live Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. Wednesdays, we have ADR in the Discord. And Wednesday, I trade live with the mentorship group. So that's what we're going to be doing today. Little small session with the mentorship group. So if you guys want to check out some live trading from me, make sure to check it out down below. And if you want to get on the mentorship waitlist, that is down below as well. Thanks again for being here. Press that like button. Subscribe to the channel. And I will see you guys Friday. Do not come here tomorrow. Market is closed. I'll be on the golf course. Peace out.